If you've been wondering why it is that there's been no major update as far as the future of the Indian Super League is concerned, well, the truth is that there's been no update because there has been no major developments in the story. We note for a fact that a tender was put out. We note for a fact that the tender of the AIFF got absolutely no takers. And we also know that the AIFF has vowed to get back to fixing that tender to ensure that the next time it's floated, someone else actually ends up picking it up. However, that has led to a lot of frustration within the larger footballing ecosystem, with ISL clubs frustrated and actually holding meetings with the sports minister in a bid to try and get the situation resolved ASAP. And now it seems like the patience of the clubs is running out because they wrote to the AIFF making some pretty big demands from them. And what exactly are those demands? We'll tell you because we've managed to see what it is that the letter is that they wrote to the AIFF. And there were two major demands really when it comes down to everything. First up was the fact that they said that the AIFF should either expressly support removal of commercially restrictive clauses in the Constitution or itself undertake these amendments. So the removal of commercially restrictive clauses, this is the major thing to talk about because again, there were clauses within the tender that were not appealing to corporate sponsors, to corporate bodies that were looking to invest. They found it restrictive and the clubs are basically saying, please remove them, either get it removed yourself, take it up yourself and try and get it done because that is what is stopping bodies from investing in Indian football. And they've also proposed a solution in case they don't want to be making these kind of moves. What is that solution? They said that if the AIFF is unwilling or unable to support the necessary amendments or provide a commercially viable framework, the only solution is for them to transfer long-term rights of the league to the clubs. Now, that would be a major step because as of now, when we've seen a major league held in India, the ownership has either resided with the AIFF or with a governing body which is basically formed by their commercial partners, because that has normally been the route. But then transferring it to the clubs would basically empower the clubs to take decisions which they see fit. And this might seem like it's a bit much, but truth be told, you can't blame the clubs for making this sort of a claim when you see that in essence the AIFF has done precious little to try and speeden matters up. Everything is tied up in bureaucracy and red tape. So I don't entirely blame the clubs for getting a little frustrated. Of course, such a far-fetched thing is not going to happen, but the fact that the clubs are even going as far as to ask for the ownership rights to be transferred to them and not handled by a third party or the AIFF tells you how desperate they feel the situation is, because right now Indian football is staring at a reality whereby you could miss out on an entire season of domestic football, which could have broader consequences for the sport, not just domestically but also internationally and in terms of their league standing. So it's a major issue and one that they're trying to get resolved. Whether or not it gets resolved, well, that's something we'll know soon, because December 20th is the key date. That's when the AIFF AGM will take place and any decisions to this effect could be announced then. But it's a grim situation, all right. Let us know your thoughts on the club's demands and whether you think they're feasible or not. And don't forget, as always, to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon. Follow us also on social media. We're on Instagram, X, and Facebook. And stay tuned for more such updates from the world of sport.